How about
Where are
this
you
one?
at? There
Yeah,
you
I was.
are.
Yep, I was clicking around on some other stuff because I was busy watching our intro video, and I didn't realize that there's a part where
Oh
the
shoot.
quarterback is throwing the pass, and it is the worst pass on earth. It is just absolutely horrible. I can't believe we put it in the video, and I just caught it today. Anyways, welcome, folks. It is Tuesday night. Time to talk some football. You guys know me. I'm your boy, SAJ, coming to you live from. I'm going to throw out one that I don't know if I've used or not, uh, but I'm coming to you from Payless Shoe Source tonight.
Oh man, you haven't done that in like a month, so I didn't have one ready. God dang, hold on. Let me find my list here. Let me find my list here.
Oh, you've got
You
one.
know what? I uh I am gonna come from the I'm gonna come from the Logan Steakhouse Studios.
I've never went. I've never been to that place. So meaningless.
It wasn't that great. It was like, really trying to be Texas Roadhouse, but really wasn't.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I remember it was back. It wasn't that long ago, but yeah, it was still a while, and it wasn't that good. So I never went, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember ever hearing anything good about it. Regardless, who cares? We're not here to talk about food. We are here to talk about football though, and it has been a couple of weeks, so we are a little bit behind the curve, and so a lot of tonight is going to be getting kind of caught up on everything that's been going down. Obviously, there was a huge transaction that happened last week. Your boy SAJ called it completely wrong. I had no idea, no way to believe that Micah Parsons was going to wind up in Green Bay. And I know you wanted to talk about it, but you were flying home and you
Yeah.
obviously had the jet lag and the sleepies and whatever else. So we could not discuss it. I want to talk about that tonight. I want to talk about the impact that's had on both teams and kind of what our overall thoughts were on that deal because I've got some very strong thoughts about it. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people what my thoughts are on that. So, BD, you want to take it away?
Man, shoot, hold on. I'm trying to share. I'm not used to this, so this is usually a Jay's thing, but he's having
Yeah.
Facebook
Okay.
stuff, so
Well, let me start out then. Let me start out. So, obviously, last week we talked about it, and or 2 weeks ago rather, and I posted on Facebook. There is absolutely no way it's going to happen. It's nothing but rumors and speculation. Absolutely insane to think that Green Bay is going to spend the money on this guy and pick him up, add him to the squad, and that Dallas was going to get the deal that they did. If you remember correctly, it was what 100 and something million. Uh, the guy's making almost like 180 million out of the deal.
I think the
40
deal Dallas offered him was 40 million a year, basically.
right, and so Green Bay picked him up for 47 a year. But they also gave up Kenny Clark, and I want to talk about your thoughts on that also. But they gave up Kenny Clark, 2 first-round draft picks. I'm going to go on record, or I've already gone on record and said it. I think this was a bad deal for Green Bay. I think it was an incredible deal for Dallas. And we're
You're
going
a
to talk
fool.
about
You are a fool. All right.
absolutely not. And you're going to see why in a little bit. Okay. Um, but so check this out. We gave up our starting nose tackle, who arguably is one of the better ones in the game. Okay. We also gave up 2 first-round picks plus $47 million of salary towards the salary cap that we're not going to get back. Okay. In exchange, Dallas gets Kenny Clark. They already have a guy at the Mike linebacker position. I think it was Mike linebacker that he was playing, who they drafted in this last year's draft, who was kind of expected to fill in for Micah Parsons because it sounds like this is rumor and speculation, but it sounds like when the draft was happening, old Uncle Jura knew that there was going to be some problems with Micah Parsons. So he started preparing for the worst. and they drafted this kid, second round linebacker, um, not going to be Micah Parsons, but arguably is going to be on a pretty decent level. And they freed up $40 million in cap space. Well, was like 30 something that he was still on the hook for. Um, and got 2 first round picks, right? So they've got a guy that can kind of fill in the spot. They picked up a really good nose tackle. They've got first round draft capital because obviously they're going to get a draft pick in the first round. Um, but then they freed up more space to be able to get somebody to back up Uncle Rico at running back, or maybe get another receiver, or God forbid, maybe they get a quarterback. Okay, and what do we get out of the deal? We get Micah Parsons and 47 million towards the cap. Okay, did he make a difference in Sunday's game? Arguably, yes. For the plays that he was in there, he did. And I'm very surprised that our defense was kind of able to do what it did, especially to Detroit, who went what? NFC Championship game and got blown out. Well, they didn't get blown out, but they did get beat. Uh, Detroit did not look the same, but I think part of that was because of Detroit being Detroit. Okay. I think Micah Parsons certainly helped out, but I think it's entirely too soon to make the call that Micah Parsons was the right choice here. And I'm still not 100% sold on it because he already came into camp busted up. He had to get injections in his back for his L3 and L4 vertebrae, which is not good because you kind of need your back to be able to move your legs, right? Um, I I think in not trying to take anything necessarily away from Micah Parsons, but I don't think we're getting the Micah Parsons that you guys had last year or the year before. I don't think that we're going to get the same production from him. I mean, as it is, he's only playing what 2 downs every snap basically, or every possession, I should say. Uh, I don't see the trade value. I don't see that it was worth it for Green Bay. We could have done more with that money, like maybe get some cornerbacks or some safeties that could actually stop people from catching the damn ball, right? Now, granted, it helps when you've got this linebacker rushing in to try and crush the quarterback and rushing him.
You don't need someone to stop someone from catching the ball when the quarterback is going to get tackled within like 3 seconds. That's the point.
I'm telling you, we're going to wind up getting eaten up on this because we've got nobody to cover the short passes. And from what I'm hearing, if you really want to mess Parsons up, because Green Bay did it to Dallas last year, remember? Run at him. He can't stop the run. So we're going to have a huge problem losing our nose tackle who could stop the run and trying to replace him with this linebacker who's rushing in who can't pick up the run. Okay? Uh, and
Bro,
right here, right
bro,
here,
you're I know. I
100%.
mean, I don't care. You know what? Yeah, we got 2 first-round picks, but as good as Green Bay is going to be now, those are going to be late round. They might as well be second-round picks. All right, and we got a player, Clark, who had a whole whopping 1 sack last season. Now he did decent for his first game. I'm not really knocking the guy. He played good, but he is not Parsons. All right, Parsons played 30 snaps in your game. He was effective, majorly effective, probably 28 of those snaps, either disrupting the offensive line, getting into the backfield, disrupting, rushing the quarterback, forcing a pick. He got the sack where he chased down Goff, and I saw a post of it. It looked like watching the freaking Nature Channel where a lion was chasing a gazelle, and that gazelle had absolutely no chance. That's absolutely what that looked like.
Gazelle was 800 years old. Okay, make sure you include that in there.
But again, he's got a sore back. Maybe he got an epidural shot so he could play. Maybe not. So if that is Parsons injured, what are you going to get when he's actually healed? All right, and I'm yes, he's going to heal. Of course he is, dude. He's like freaking 26 years old or whatever. He's going to heal. I am not I'm angry that we traded him because your comment was, oh, we just got Micah Parsons. Dude, Micah Parsons is a generational talent. All right. He's not
Oh
good.
my God.
He's not, he is a generational talent. Right now, he is a top 3 defensive player. He is on pace to be one of the best defensive players of all time. Without
Oh
a
my
doubt.
gosh.
He is on pace for that. So
No,
yeah, it's not just
absolutely not.
We got Micah Parsons. You got freaking a generational talent, and
Absolutely not. You're going to
For
see.
Jerry to go in there and talk, mention this in the echelon of the Herschel Walker trade is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. Herschel, I think we ended up getting like 5 players and 7 draft picks or something for him. This one, we got 2 late round, first round picks and a busted ass defensive player. So nowhere near the Herschel Walker trade.
I'm telling you, I think Uncle Jura knew what he was doing. He dumped him while the market was still hot for him.
That
And
market
we're
was
going to
that
see.
market was ice cold. As soon as Micah Parsons said, "I want to be traded," that market went cold. There's reports that Jerry wanted to trade him, before the draft or all that. You know what? He should have, if you wanted to, he should have then, because then the market was hot. Then we may have gotten an actual decent deal out of it. But what we got for Micah Parsons is absolutely 1,000% not worth it.
For us, I'll agree with that.
No.
Yes, I'm telling you. Just like everybody's talking or making these comparisons about how Micah Parsons is on the same level of talent that Reggie White, the great Reggie White, was for Green Bay and for Philadelphia. Every one of those people that said that should be slapped right in the mouth. You're going to see it is not going to work out that way. Okay. Micah Parsons is going to be great now. Well, he's going to be good now. Next year, he's going to be a little bit worse. The year after that, he's going to be garbage. Watch and see.
No,
Okay.
you're so wrong.
Look, even XFL Mike G said, right? Put him in the more ball hawking opportunities. Save the wear and tear. That's great that he can slam in the line and tie up 2, maybe 3 offensive linemen. But how's that going to help us when we run up against a stronger offensive line? How's that going to help us when somebody does to us what Green Bay did to Dallas last year and runs right out? Okay. We already know he struggles with stopping the run. Okay. So all you got to do is run the ball, force him to start pulling back to compensate
I
for
mean,
it.
there
And then
wasn't a
you've got
whole
all your
lot of
time.
there wasn't a whole lot of issues stopping the run for Parsons last week. So, and Detroit's a really good running team too. So I
No,
mean,
Detroit
obviously
was.
this was week 1. Parsons is probably at 70%, and he's only going to get better and more effective. So y'all got a damn steal out of this.
Well, time will tell. I will
That you're
also
wrong.
say, though,
I agree.
that you're wrong 100%. Everybody's going to see it. I will say, though, that I am really surprised overall with this Detroit team. Oh, my. I don't think that's going to show up. I can't share that one. Uh,
I can see it on here, but
yeah. Sabrina put like a cat emoji saying hi. It's hilarious. And I love you, hun. Thank you. That's crazy stuff. Um, but okay, back to Detroit. Detroit wasn't the team that they were last year. And I don't know why. I'd like to think that some of it is because of Green Bay's defense. It certainly wasn't because of our cornerbacks, right? I watched that game and there were so many opportunities that, again, giving Parsons his props, if that pressure wouldn't have been as great as it was, not just from Parsons, but our whole defensive line in general. Because it turns out we replaced our nose tackle with another guy who arguably did almost as good, and he's a rookie. Okay. So we may be okay there. But again, that whole defensive line really helped put a lot of pressure on Goff. So he wasn't able to make those throws. And the running game wasn't there like it normally was. But had Goff had more time, I think our secondaries would have been exposed and we would have gotten lit up all day long, you know? Uh, so I don't know. I don't know if it was Detroit that was maybe just not firing on all cylinders, or if the problem was Green Bay was just that good. I think it's still too early to make that decision, that determination. And I'm sorry, but I'm not buying the rhetoric that we were one player away from being a Super Bowl team. Okay, I've seen too many weaknesses in
I
the
don't
development of this
necessarily
team.
agree with that, but it does put you in the upper echelon of contenders.
Possibly, but we still have Jordan Love, who still is hit and miss. We still don't have, other than Matthew Golden, which by the way was phenomenal. Okay, uh, and that decision I agree with. That draft pick, we should have been drafting wide receivers 10 years ago, but we got into this pattern of never drafting an offensive player in the first. Well, besides Jordan Love, we got into this habit of not drafting wide receivers in the first round, and I don't know why, because there's been so many that have come out that have been great that could have helped us when Rodgers was there. Now that Love is there, right? There's all these things we could have done. That one player could have made a difference and put us into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, that I'll agree with. But anyways, yeah. Uh, uh, my guy Golden, 2 receptions for 16 yards. You know, phenomenal numbers. Romeo Dobbs had a much better game, right? 2 receptions for 68 yards. Uh, I like seeing Reed get some time. I do really wish, another thing that bothers me, I do really wish Reed would have given up his number 11 to
I did notice that, but I mean,
oh yeah. Well, no. But you got to understand why I'm saying that. The number 1 was reserved for the legendary Curly Lambeau. The the whole field is named after him because he's such a Packers legend. That number was unofficially, legendarily retired to honor Curly Lambeau. And we pulled it out just because this new guy wants the number. And then we had to give Matthew Golden the number 0. Nobody's worn the number 0 in Green Bay. Well, now we can't say that, you know? And I get why some players want to do that, but you're going against tradition. And I'm sorry, I'm a traditionalist. You don't break tradition.
bro,
Not in Green Bay.
it's gonna be named Micah Parsons Field. All right, in
No,
like 15 years. So
never. It'll be named Reggie Whitefield before it's ever named Micah Parsons Field. I promise you that. Right. And if not, I'll go burn the damn thing down myself. Anyways, uh, I will say that Love did a pretty good job distributing the ball around the field. Um, 16 to 22, 188 yards. Uh, Mike's not wrong, you know. We have never spent a whole lot. Well, I take that back. We haven't in a long time spent good money on a lot of positions. Reggie White and then the quarterbacks are probably arguably the last big positions that we've dumped a lot of money in. We've been very fortunate to get some of the players that we have, like Green. Who's the other running back? I was just talking about him at lunch with Coach Tom. Uh,
Cheeseburger Eddie.
no, this is more recently than that. Cheeseburger Eddie. I mean, all you had to do is just give him a couple of double whoppers, and he was good. Uh, Although I would probably bring him back right now for the offensive line, you know. Anyways, we have not done well with some of the positions that really needed talent, like cornerback, even safety. We let God dang it, what the heck's his name? Uh, we let what's his name go this last year.
Yeah.
Um, who again on the cusp? I'm sure. Like
Didn't
I
he
did
go
not
to the
hear his name
Bills?
all weekend.
I
Yeah, I think he went to the. I'd have to look, but
man, I
the
forget because
point is,
it was one of the games that I watched that he was playing in it, and he did pretty good. I don't remember. I watched a lot of freaking football this weekend. So
mhm. Well, I didn't get to watch the Bills, but I did watch a couple of crucial games. This being one of them. And again, Green Bay looked good at times. There were other times it was like, you know. So I don't know, man. For me, as much of a diehard Packers fan as I am, I've got to say the jury is still out. Did Micah Parsons being added to the team make a difference? 100%. I can't deny that. Is that going to be the final key to the puzzle to get us deep into the playoffs or maybe even to the Super Bowl? I think it's still way too early, and I'm just not sold. I don't believe it. So
Well, you're a
let's get your
pessimist by
take.
nature anyway, so
I kind of am. I kind of am. Let's get your take on it. Obviously, you were not happy with giving up Micah Parsons. Um, I still think the player that you got out of it is going to be a pretty good deal. And I think the draft capital for you, granted, yeah, the Green Bay pick is going to be pretty late, late
yeah.
20s
I mean, it
or
might as well
something like that.
be a second round pick, so I don't know.
However, that's still trade capital for you. Okay.
I mean, if we can package that one and then whatever our pick is going to be, which will probably be a lot lower than what y'all's is, maybe we can get into, top 5, top 10 or something. Who knows? But
Let's
still.
let's say you get pick number 15 or 16 plus Green Bay's 27, right? If there's a team that's out there that's looking to build that's in the top 10, I can almost guarantee you they would take that trade. A top 10 first round pick for a number 15 and a number like 27. Because obviously they need more than just one player,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I'm talking about. That's draft capital. And you still are going to have a first round pick in 2027. So like we're not going to pick in the first round for the next 200 years or something like that. Okay?
We
Because
still
we
didn't
know
get
this
enough.
stuff's
All right.
not.
We still did not get enough. All right. Needed
Okay.
more picks. But, I mean, and we'll see. Obviously, we'll see. But going back to our game against the Philly,
Let's
it
talk about
went better than I expected it to. I kind of thought we were going to get blown out. We hung in there pretty well, actually. I mean, it was if CeeDee Lamb didn't forget how to catch a ball, we probably win that game. So I say a lot of people are calling it 4 drops because there was that fourth down play right at the end that he missed. I don't consider that one a drop because he kind of had to lay out to get it. Dak overthrew him a little bit. There's one he probably should have caught, but I'm not counting that as a drop against him. But he had 3 other really bad drops. So, I mean, and I don't know. What do you do with that? I know his interview afterwards. He was pissed at himself, and he's like, you know what? I got to be better. I'm gonna be better. So we'll see what he does. Next week's a good bounce back game for him against the Giants.
Yep.
But kind of we've had questions about the Cowboys rushing a game. Williams did pretty well. 15 rushes for 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty solid. Sanders, he had one really good run for 49 yards, almost 50 yards, and then immediately fumbled the ball. And then, other than that, Turpin ran a couple times, which, he's the speed guy. Got to get the ball in his hands a little bit. But the run game was better than what I expected it to be. Now, I get it. It doesn't hurt that old Carter from the Eagles decided to go spit on Dak before the freaking offense even got on the field.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt when you're the best defensive player for the Eagles does something stupid to get thrown out. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I know you saw the highlights, but did you see did you watch it live?
I think I tuned the game in after that had happened, and they kept talking about it and bringing it up, and it was like again, I get it. Okay, there were some other interactions that happened that we're going to talk about later. That again blows my mind. Okay, there is never a right place to do anything like that. That is an absolute level of disrespect that should not be tolerated. Right? I don't care how mad you are at somebody. Like
And
you
I will
keep that
say,
off the field.
Dak 100% baited him into that. he spit on the ground. He looked at him, kind of gave him a little smirk and a smile, and kind of for whatever reason that pissed Carter off.
Mm-hmm.
Carter then proceeded to walk 5-10 yards, get into Dak's face, and then spit on him. So,
Mm-hmm.
Dak wasn't completely, like hands off or no fault at all, but he didn't, like I said, it was just something, a little something to bait him. And Carter 100% took that bait.
Right. And so whose fault is that? That's
Carter's.
Carter's.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
they just came out and announced that he's getting fined $57,000. He's not suspended, which I think is the right call. I wouldn't want a player to be suspended for something like that. I mean, it's disgusting. It's a terrible thing to do, but at the end of the day, it's spit on a jersey. I mean, come on now. Let's not suspend players for that. Kick them out of the game. Totally agree. Fine them. Totally agree. No suspensions. Now, if you spit in his face or something like that's a different story. But just spit on the jersey, whatever. Move on.
Yeah. I will say I'm looking at some of the stats with you right now. I'm kind of surprised. Dallas rushing, like you said, was pretty good. Williams did okay. Flip over to the Eagles, right? Um, that's we've talked about it before. When your quarterback is putting up the most rushing yards, kind of right? Makes me a little nervous. What One thing that I saw that does kind of bum me out though, AJ Dillon, who was arguably an up and coming running back with the Green Bay Packers, who's now with Philadelphia, 3 rushes, 10 yards. That's it. And he was supposed to be the power runner.
Yeah, but he's
And I
backing up
don't,
Barkley, and I mean
yeah,
Shipley, who he played a lot, or not a lot last season, but he came in some games last season. He was pretty damn good. So
right.
and then, I mean, you got Hurts, and yeah, normally we don't like quarterbacks running the ball, but apparently freaking Dallas defense forgot that Jalen Hurts likes to run the ball, especially when he's got a wide ass open field in front of him. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but I think
Again,
Dylan kind of maybe he'll have some good games, but I mean, when you're behind Barkley and Shipley like that, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of chances.
yeah,
So
I mean, it is going to be tough for him, but hopefully he gets an opportunity to kind of display what he can do and then maybe get that, RB1 position somewhere else.
yeah,
Because he showed a lot of promise in Green Bay. So, but I get it, right? Again, you've got Saquon Barkley, like, you're not going to give that cat a lot of time, right? Barkley's going to be taking a lot of the load there. But anyways, okay. So Dallas actually hung in there, right?
it did. Like I
Um,
said, I was impressed. I thought it was going to be worse. Obviously, I'm always rooting for them to win. I kind of wasn't expecting it, so I wasn't like mad or disappointed or whatever. I'm like, I'm just glad we didn't get blown out. So
yeah. So let me ask you this, based on what you saw and how, they hung with Philadelphia, who arguably, pretty solid team. How do you think you stack up right now against the NFC East?
I mean, you know, I think we are probably. I would kind of put us at second. I would think, because I mean Washington, they struggled a little bit with the Giants kind of early on. Um, they kind of got a couple scores towards the end to kind of spread out the win point total there. But I don't know. We'll see. We're playing the Giants this week, and they suck, and they're dysfunctional as hell, like always. So that's gonna be a win. God, I hope so. I'd be real pissed if Cowboys lose to the Giants. Um, Washington is playing. They're playing y'all, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's the Thursday night game.
Hmm.
So I think that's
Yep.
kind of going to be, another test just to see how good is Washington early.
Hmm.
Because I mean, let's say y'all are. I would put you guys right now top 5 in the league. You know, so
Bold statement.
just like I said, I think y'all are up there. with the top contenders. Um,
Okay.
I put obviously Philly's up there. I think Philly's my number one team right now. You got Buffalo, you got Baltimore. I think Kansas City's going to have a rough year this season.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I I could totally see them missing the playoffs, but if they get in, it's going to be probably a later wild card spot. Um, I mean, really, the Lions was last week just kind of a off week for them. I still think they're kind of one of the upper teams in the league. So kind of mixed up in there. I've got with you guys. I don't. I
Well,
wouldn't put right now. I wouldn't put Dallas top 10. I'd probably put us 10 to 15.
fair enough. I will say this next week is not going to be a good example of what Detroit is going to be capable of this season because they're playing Chicago. Although I will say I was really surprised that Chicago came on as strong as they did. I think that's a fluke because Chicago didn't really make a whole lot of changes that I'm aware of. And I know we talked about it, in the preseason that Minnesota was struggling with a lot of, injuries kind of throughout, preseason. And I don't think all of you know, their heavies came back uh, just yet. I was surprised McCarthy did as well as he did and was as scrappy as he did,
You
especially
know,
when we watched the
he
first part of that game.
he struggled. He struggled at the beginning of the game,
Hmm.
but he kind of settled down a little bit. And
Yep.
I was impressed, especially the way he was able to come back. I mean,
Hmm.
Chicago's I think they scored on their first drive. They scored a touchdown on the first drive, and then after that, they didn't score an offensive touchdown until like the last, I think maybe like 4 minutes in the game or whatever. They got a
Hmm.
pick six on defense, which was the rest of the score. But it's easy, especially for a quarterback. I mean, I don't know if you would technically call him a rookie because he played he was on a team last year, but he was injured, didn't play. I mean, if this was the NBA, he'd be called a rookie. I don't know, red shirt rookie. You know,
100% what I would call it because even though he was on a squad, he never took a snap.
never took
You
that,
know?
and it wasn't because he was never eligible to play. Like he was never on the active roster. He was injured the entire season.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I would consider him a rookie, even though he was in the team, kind of learned the stuff as well. But
Right.
his first pro game, and just to get down, and he was struggling. He was the Chicago Rush was kind of coming after him. They were getting to him. He had, you tell he could tried to break out a couple times, and he get tripped up, and he was getting frustrated, making some bad passes. But for him to just kind of dig in, get through there, and then just in that fourth quarter, just flip a switch, it seemed like, and was just throwing dimes.
Yeah.
So it was just, I was real impressed with him. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes, but
Mhm.
just one game, and first game was like, all right, what, that's real impressive to me.
Yeah. So I think Minnesota it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell where they're at. Are they going to be able to recapture that magic and build on that for the rest of the season? Was it, adrenaline? Was it a fluke? Um, I think Minnesota's, probably going to be a team we're going to have to watch out for. And I'm going to say right now the NFL or the NFC North is up for grabs. Every team that played this weekend showed the potential to be the leader in that division, and that hasn't happened in a while. If you remember back in the '90s, like the NFC North was the dominant league. Nobody
Yeah.
wanted to play anybody in the NFC North, and we haven't been that strong since. Not saying that we're back there, uh, but it looks like we're starting to rebuild. So again, NFC North is up for grabs. We'll see what happens. I don't know that I put Green Bay necessarily in the top five right now. I am pessimistic, but it's only because there are variables there that I just can't 100% count on. One of which is Jordan Love. Okay. But also Malik Willis had a great preseason. We saw what Malik did when Love went out last year, which is one of the reasons why we were able to even get in the playoffs. Um, but I just don't know. There's not enough there. Um, so I would say keep your eyes on the NFC North because there's going to be a lot of back and forth battles and just a lot of action. Uh,
Speaking of action, man,
speaking,
did you catch your old ex boy Aaron against his other old ex team?
unfortunately, I did not get to watch that game, and I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, that was a fun game
Um,
to watch.
it it's Aaron being Aaron, man. 22 of 30, 244, 4 touchdowns. I mean, that's the Aaron Rodgers of old, you
Yeah.
know. And that's not what he did in New York. And I get it, right? He was injured that one year. He came back, didn't really have any help, didn't really have any assistance, was fighting with the head coach and basically the whole entire organization. Why are you going to play your heart out for a team that you just can't stand? So I get it. He tanked it, and that's fine, right?
Did you hear his post game conference when they asked him about beating the Jets?
No.
I mean, dude, this is Aaron Rodgers is King Petty, and I'm here for it, man. He was his quote was basically I love beating anybody and everyone associated with the Jets. Uh
Wow.
uh basically a lot of them thought I couldn't play anymore, and here I am. So
Well, I mean, he has every right to say that, man. If
yeah,
people are already counting him out, and I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he can't scramble like he used to. Not that he ever could scramble. But he proved he still got the juice, man.
yeah.
Um, as long as your offensive line can hold, he'll sit back there and throw till he's like 80. You know, so more power to him. Wow, wow.
I already talked
It would
about
be
it,
nice.
Jeremy. Once again, you're
Yeah,
late again, man.
yep. It would be nice if Jeremy would show up on time to actually trash talk
Right?
when it matters. Like
I already,
now,
I,
we've already
I
moved
already brought that, dude. That's why are you talking about old stuff, man. Why are you talking about old stuff?
Talking
I
about
think we
old
should talk about
stuff,
the game of the week though for this
uh,
past week,
which was because
which
there's
was
discussions.
the Ravens and Bills.
I think that was the game of the week. Well, I mean, it started out with the off-field action, of course, right?
No,
Uh,
that wasn't to start the game. That was kind of third, fourth quarter ish. Uh,
maybe, maybe, but that that was a good game. But I mean, there's arguments about what should have been the game of the week. One of which was supposed to be, the Green Bay Detroit game. For whatever reason, we're an NFL team playing on CBS, which never used to happen.
dude, I
Um,
was I was looking at the schedule. I'm like, how the hell are two uh NFC teams playing on CBS? It was weird. I don't know.
it's it's because
I'm not a fan of that timeline. All right.
we're in the end zone or end times, man. Everything is backwards now.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a good game. I did not get to watch that one, unfortunately.
Oh, it was great. It was
And I
fantastic.
do
I
feel
was
bad
I
about it.
was glued to my seat the whole time, and it was kind of a lot like the Vikings Bears. At the beginning of the game, it looked like Baltimore was kind of gonna roll through the Bills, and then just kind of I think third quarter ish, kind of towards the fourth, Buffalo started coming back. And then, kind of what.
Did see that part. Yes, I did. The comeback, yeah. I saw
Yeah.
it. It was
And
crazy.
then I think the kind of one you just mentioned when DeAndre Hopkins, he scored a touchdown, which was a fantastic touchdown for one. And him and Lamar Jackson were like running around, and some dumbass Bills fan decides to push DeAndre in the head and then immediately push Jackson in the head. And Jackson's like, oh, hell no, and push the fan back.
I don't know if that guy actually made contact with Jackson or not. I
He
think he
did.
pushed. Well, from what I saw, and maybe I missed something. Maybe he shoved, you know,
So
early. I don't know,
he shoved
but
Hopkins in the helmet
I
as he
saw
was running
that.
by, and then Jackson ran by and shoved him too.
Right.
That's when Jackson retaliated.
Okay.
So
Because I saw the first shove, and I saw Jackson shoving the fan,
yeah.
and I
So
got
and then
stoked
that
about
fan,
that.
did you hear that fan got banned basically
Mhm.
from he got
Fan
kicked
for life.
out in the game and banned like I mean indefinitely.
Mhm.
So
Take note, UFL fans putting hands on players, ban them for life.
yep.
I'm just
Yep.
saying.
And
Okay.
you know what? And I didn't see it like mentioned in the broadcast or whatever, but right after that, uh, when Henry he went and scored a touchdown, and it was one of his long touchdown runs. A fan threw it was a bottle of water or a cup of water or a cup of beer or something, threw it, and if it didn't hit him, it came damn near close to hitting him in the end zone. It was one of the shots from the side. You see him running, you just see the bottle just come. And
Wow.
man, freaking Buffalo fans, dude. I mean, they're like the OG. I know everybody's talking about like the WNBA and all that stuff. Dude, Buffalo Bills fans are like the OGs of throwing dildos on the field. So,
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. And it's just Buffalo being Buffalo, man. I
yeah.
mean,
Oh,
you're
and
never going to
speaking of
change
Buffalo being Buffalo, yeah, Mike G's comment, Bills fans leaving. Oh, I mean, you know what? I'm sorry, dude. They need to like facial recognition of every one of those fans that left the game and just ban them from life because, if you're going to get down on your team like that, you don't deserve to go to a game.
Yeah. So elsewhere around the league, definitely want to give a congratulatory tip of the hat to the Jaguars, even though they're playing the Panthers, right? So Brahma Babe and James Carr, congratulations. Rankin, uh, you're not wrong. McCarthy did well. Well, the jury's still out though. We'll see what happens. Okay. Um, I'm sorry, dishonorable mention goes to the Miami Dolphins
I mean,
because
I think wasn't that your surprise team of the season?
yeah, yeah, I
So now it's just
100% thought.
surprised at how bad they were.
Well, I'm surprised that that team even showed up with how bad they were. Like I
I
wouldn't
mean,
have played if I
did
knew
they
we were
show
that
up?
bad. Somebody showed up and they said they were the Dolphins. Uh, but no, it was bad, and everything that I've read, all the moves that I've seen them making, all the work that was put in almost seems like it was for nothing. Like you may as well have not done anything and brought the same team from last year because you got the same results.
I mean,
So
yeah,
I need to
they kind
see.
of did. And dude, Tyreek Hill was losing his damn mind on the sidelines, and it was hilarious to see.
Well, wouldn't you also if you knew you were better than the team that you're kind of stuck with? I'm sorry, I'm surprised Tagliova is going crazy, right? But then again, I mean, he probably concussed and didn't even remember it. So, anyways,
Well,
um,
he got offended in the press conference because the reporter asked him, but basically it was like, hey, a lot of times you do a good job of not turning the ball over, but when you do it in clusters, and he was like super offended at that question, and I'm like, bro, have you watched your game tape? He's 100% right. You're either going to have 0 turnovers or you're going to have 4 in a game. So
um, it's probably like 51st dates, right? He goes to sleep and then doesn't even remember that he played that game. Um, Elsewhere around the league, kind of surprising, the Texans got beaten by the Rams, and
I wasn't surprised by that. I picked the Rams to win.
I'm sure you did, but I can't believe the Texans didn't put up more of a fight in that game.
Dude,
I
that
mean,
they were
it
anemic
was
on
bad.
offense. It was bad.
It was absolutely bad. Stroud 19 to 27, 188 yards, but an interception, 3 sacks. They put up 9 points total, right? One field goal in the first quarter, two in the second, and that was it. That's insane to think that they have the roster that they do, and struggled that much against the Rams. And that's not, trying to knock the Rams or anything like that. Um, but with the
I
way
do
the
think the
Texans are
Rams are going to be
built,
one of those surprise teams this year. That's they're probably not going to be the top contenders, but I totally see them in a top wild card spot. Maybe
I
do
can see
some
that.
damage in the playoffs. I mean, they've got a really good squad. So
Mhm. Well, and I mean, it's Matthew Stafford, right? I used to
yeah,
bash on Stafford all the time when he was with the Lions about how horrible he was and everything like that. Turns out it was really kind of the team around him
yeah,
because he's doing
exactly.
fine now. So, but yeah, it was just surprising. Okay. Looking forward to next week. Obviously, we've got Washington. I know you're going to be rooting for whether you like it or not, you're going to be rooting for Green Bay because you want to see Washington lose.
Oh, of course.
Uh, you guys have Dallas, or you guys have the Giants. You are Dallas. So
You
that
know
should be
what?
fairly
But we do
easy.
play against ourselves every week, so and a lot of the times we beat ourselves. So
That's true. That's true. That might turn out to be a surprising game, Chicago and Detroit. Potentially looking like something worth keeping an eye on.
yeah, curious
Uh,
how both of them bounce back. Like I would expect the Lions to kind of win that game pretty handily. I'm sure they're pretty pissed off about how they played against you guys. Not so much just that they lost, but that they just did not look good at all. So I think kind of the Lions have something to prove in as much as you can prove in week 2 of the
oh
season.
yeah. Well, and Chicago wants to be taken seriously also, right? So they're
Do
and
they
it's a
though?
divisional game. They you ask a Chicago fan, they'll tell you they will. Uh,
Yeah, but you ask a Chicago fan, they also say what their casserole is pizza. So obviously their thinking is flawed.
you keep Chicago deep dish out of your mouth. All right.
It is
I mean,
fine.
literally,
It
literally,
is delicious. It's not pizza. It's a casserole.
it is pizza. It's casserole on a
It's
pizza.
a casserole.
That's all
It's a
that
damn
matters.
casserole.
Anyways, I'm also interested in the Sunday night game, Atlanta versus Minnesota. Right. That's going to be a pretty good test for them. Okay. This will be a good determination to see what Minnesota really has in the tank if they're going to be able to compete against Atlanta. Even though Atlanta did lose last week, um, it was still, I mean, it was a pretty decent game. Atlanta looked okay. Um, little baby Kyler Murray, by the way, he did really good. Um, Surprised considering you can't see over the offensive line, but whatever. Like you just need to know. And Robert, the one thing we agree on, 100%. Okay, that the Geno's East is the bomb, dude. I'll actually go to Chicago just for some Geno's East. I won't go for anything else though. Anyways, should be some really great games this weekend. So make sure you're tuning in, watching all the crazy stuff that's going on there. We got to talk about college football,
I'm
and
happy to talk about
unfortunately,
college football.
I
We
know
got two,
you
we got
are.
2 weeks of college football to talk about. Two
Mhm.
two Aggies wins. The first one was when we kicked y'all's ass. So
Yes, although they unfortunately gave the Roadrunners faithful some hope when UTSA started pushing back in that third quarter and then just
was it
dominated.
the third quarter? I thought it was the second quarter. Was they kind of
We
kept
kept
it
it.
close? I thought it was like the second half is when kind of A&M just they were like, all right, enough of this, and just ran off with it.
Let me bring up the score. Yeah, no, we pretty much were dog food the entire time. Yeah. We kept it close in the first quarter, right? 7-3. But then after that, A&M started pouring on the coals and it was bad. So yeah, A&M destroys UTSA, which you kind of knew was going to happen. Um, but it just did not. We just looked bad. We looked rough. Um, A&M also played Utah State this last weekend and beat them 44-22. Kind of
And
expected
you
that,
know what? It
right?
was really it wasn't that close. The A&M put in like all of their bench players. I think halfway through the third, maybe early into the fourth, and that was basically, Utah State, I think, scored a couple touchdowns. Then A&M like missed a field goal or two or something. So yeah, it wasn't even close to that 44-22 final score. But
Yeah.
I mean that is these non-conference games. I don't expect anything different. So
Yeah. So meanwhile, while A&M was, stomping holes in an opponent, UTSA was actually in a pretty decent dogfight with Texas State. That was a good game, but I don't think at any point UTSA was really in any kind of a position where they kind of threatened that lead. Um, that last possession, man, is what really kind of messed everything up. Um, UTSA had the ball, did the 2-point conversion, tied up the game, and then I'm sorry, Texas State rather broke off that 65-yard touchdown, and there was still you know a little bit of time left on the clock, and it just was like that's it. We were just done. Um,
I didn't watch any of that game. I kind of followed the score along, but no, I didn't watch any
I,
of it. But
I watched the game, and it was a great showing for Texas State. I mean, Texas State, like I said, they were pretty much in control the entire time, and congrats to Texas State, man. I mean, they're 2-0 on the season right now. They played Eastern Michigan week 1 of the season and stomped them 52 to 27. So it looks like, Texas State's program is for real. They're on a tear and they're looking to make some big waves. And congrats to them. I want to know what the hell's going on with Jeff Traylor's Roadrunners because if you remember last year, the first part of the season, they started out really rough too and wound up kind of turning it around. They wound up getting a bowl game, right? Worked out. Okay, cool, whatever. Is that going to happen again? And why are we starting out so shaky? You know,
well,
uh,
I mean, the reason why you lost the first game is because you played a top 20 team. So you know don't like bash yourselves for losing that one. Now the Texas State one, yeah, y'all probably should have maybe could have won that one, but I mean, you didn't have a bad showing, so you didn't get blown
no,
out, so you're
but
there. Now, did you see who y'all are playing this week?
yes, we're playing the 1-1 UIW Cardinals at the Alamo Dome, which again, not surprised that
Is that the first time
UIW.
y'all have played Incarnate Word? Like that's I mean that's not like a interstate right. That's like an inner city rivalry.
Yeah. Well, it is not necessarily an inner city rivalry, um, because we haven't really played them, but this could be, this could become, you know, uh, the Battle of I-10, I guess, you know, well, maybe 1604. I'm
Battle of
not sure.
downtown. I mean,
Battle of downtown, right? Um, but it's going to be an interesting game, and I really don't think like if UTSA goes into this game thinking, hey man, this is going to be, we've got this. This is going to be our bounce back game. You know, no problem. We'll get everything right when we play this game. That's going to be the wrong attitude going into this,
I mean,
right?
Incarnate Word is a good team. They've always been a good team. So, this is kind of an
Mhm.
interesting game. I might actually watch this one.
I'm honestly trying to figure out how I can go to this one. You know, it is at the Alamo Dome. Uh, there is some stuff going on Saturday, so I may not be able to go. But if I can sneak away and go to this game, dude, this one or the Texas State one is definitely one that I wanted to go to. So obviously we're going to keep an eye on it. UIW so far has played Nichols University. Don't know where that is. They wound up losing that game 20-6. Then they played Eastern Washington, won 21-31. Um, so for the teams that they're playing, I mean, they're playing some pretty solid talent. So this is an opportunity for UTSA to really kind of try and right the ship here and figure out, hey man, what are we doing wrong? What is not working? And get it back together. In the meantime, though, you guys have Notre Dame this
We
weekend.
do. That's going to
Should
be,
be.
obviously it's our first major test of the season.
Mhm.
And I mean, we know last year when we played Notre Dame in College Station, it was a pretty close one. I think the final score was 10 points, but that was kind of a last second kind of not really garbage time score, but just a last second score that put them up. But it was kind of a dogfight the whole game, and I'm kind of looking at the same for this one. I know Notre Dame's 0-1. They lost to Auburn, I think. And then for some reason they had a bye week last week, which is kind of weird to have a bye week the second week of the season. But
Mhm.
I'm really
That's rough.
do a,
That's gonna make that schedule tough, man.
yeah.
So
But I'm looking forward to the game, man. I want to see, A&M's played good against Miami. Okay, that's who it was, Miami. Uh played good against not, great teams. Now here's their chance to see how they performed against one of the top teams in in college football.
yeah. Speaking of which, University of Texas, which we don't really talk about much because I know how much you love the Longhorns. Um, they're going to be playing the UTEP Miners, and UTEP's 1-1 on the season. Horns are 1-1 on the season. They did lose
Yeah, but
to Ohio
the
State.
losses the losses and wins are a little different. I mean, UT beat or lost to Ohio State, who is now the
Right,
top ranked team in the country. I
right.
don't think that
One touchdown.
UTEP played, you know, anyone in that caliber. So
No, they didn't. No. I'm trying to see who they played. Oh, the money lines aren't even close, man. It's horrible. We're gonna go ahead
I
and
got it.
block that fool. Uh, yeah, that's that's gonna be horns all day long. Uh, we don't really talk about them very much. But Trinity University, right? Another inner city, but inner San Antonio team, but it is a D2 school. They played Texas Lutheran, right? So kind of a little rivalry there. They beat them 26-14. Uh, let's see if I pulled it up. I did, but I closed it. Oh no, here we go. Uh, this next weekend, they're going to be playing Bellhaven here in San Antonio. I don't know what a Bellhaven is. Meanwhile, Texas Lutheran will be playing Howard Payne, which I know that for Texas Lutheran, that's kind of a bigger game for them. So that should be interesting. If you're kind of into the D2 schools and everything, there's some good action there in San Antonio. Um, I did not bring up any of the high school football. Um, and that's surprising that I didn't bring any of it up. But where do we kind of stand so far? I mean, I know the season's really kind of just started.
I don't know. Like I said, the preseason poll had Steele as number one, Brendan at number two. Um, I haven't checked. That was 2 weeks ago. So
Okay. Let me week 3, 2025. They've already been playing for a while now.
they played a couple of
Um,
weeks already.
yeah. So let me click on the big scores.
Well,
Uh
while you're doing that, I mean, I guess we do have a little bit of UFL news. Um, Mike Rapoli, he had a tweet post, whatever you want to call it, today. Nothing, obviously not making any announcements, but saying that in his words, he is confident that they will be able to announce the teams and cities for the 26th season by October 8th.
wow.
So, I know we
That's
had first heard that it was going to be, maybe mid-September that they were probably going to announce it. Who knows? Obviously there was some questions of obviously Birmingham, they were going to be out and then they're not, and all that crap.
Mhm,
Um, I think there's probably a little bit of the same with Michigan. Are they going to stay there, play at another stadium, or whatever? And then
mhm,
I think kind of floating around the Facebooks yesterday, I believe it was they UFL posted a job position for a Houston Roughnecks ticket uh experience,
mhm.
so is Houston back in the mix? Who knows?
Right.
But
Well,
like I said, as Rapoli said, October 8th is the day that they hope to let us know by October 8th. Hopefully it's sooner than that.
right.
Maybe not.
Well, I will say this. One team is going to have to go. Otherwise, the scheduling of that is going to be an absolute nightmare. You've got 11 teams in only 10 weeks. That's going to be almost impossible to make happen. Um, so we'll have to see how that
11
plays
teams. There's
out.
only 8 teams right now.
I mean,
You mean 9 teams?
nine teams, 10 weeks.
Yeah.
That's going to be really weird. Um, anyways, back to high school football. Just the ones worth kind of mentioning, Wagner High School, which is, not too terribly far from me now. They won 49-19. Johnson's obliterated Judson 45-7, right? Yeah, so Rocket Pride, I'm sure there's still Rocket Pride there, but it's not the Rockets of old, man. Let's see, Piper beat Bernie 35-28. I'm sure that was probably an incredible game. Let's see who else kind of got down here. Smithson Valley absolutely stomped Roosevelt, which you shouldn't be surprised, but it was 62-2.
Dang.
I'm sorry, 62-6. 62
Oh,
to 6.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Pretty bad. Your Madison no, you went to Madison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your Madison Mustangs or whatever they
Mavericks.
were, Mavericks, whatever, they fell to the Unicorns 35-31. Um,
It's not
I mean,
terrible.
it's not, yeah, not a whole bunch going on. The powerhouse is pretty much, kind of handled business as you would expect them to. Uh, yeah, not really a whole bunch to talk about. O'Connor and Brandeis was a good game, 42-38 in favor of Brandeis. Um, let's see, week two, bum, bum, bum. Veterans Memorial, 51-20. I knew about that game because Coach Tom, his son, is he's the center, long snapper, whatever. Uh, and he's getting a lot of playing time. So that kid is going to do some things. Elsewhere, you've got New Braunfels beat New Braunfels Canyon 41-15. Not really surprising. Uh, Bernie Champion beat Medina Valley 48-21, but Bernie Champion is just one of those schools where you kind of expect him to always be towards the top. It's just there's not much else to do in Bernie except play football. So
Right.
uh, other than that, I mean, there's not really Piper and Johnson, Piper did lose to Johnson 31-22. But we knew Johnson was going to be a tough school anyways.
Yeah,
But
but
Piper's
Piper was ranked, I think, in the what were they like 5A, you know, uh something. I thought they were ranked 1 or 2 in the early in the season.
I'd have to go back because I didn't check any of the stats. I just, it's high school. There's so much going on. It's so hard to follow. But high school or Piper has since they've come on the scene, they've always had a pretty strong football program. Um, Pretty much everybody else did what you would expect them to do. Week three obviously is going to be starting Thursday. Uh, some pretty good games to kind of be on the lookout for. Piper's playing Davenport. That should be a pretty solid game. Um, Canyon's playing Alamo Heights. I don't know if Alamo Heights is the Alamo Heights of old, if that one is going to be a good one or not, but I mean it's high school. Uh, See who else is kind of squaring up that would be worth watching. Man, honestly, it's it's high school football. A lot of these games are worth it just to see, the kids out there, giving it their all. Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing that I've seen. It doesn't matter if it's 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A. I mean, these kids are playing, uh, lights out as hard as they possibly can. The ones that don't, they usually get taken care of by their teammates, right? They get pushed out, they're on the bench, they're not doing anything, right? Because there's kids behind them that want those spotlights. Here's another one should be worth watching. Veterans Memorial at MacArthur. Uh, they're playing at Hero Stadium. That should be a pretty good game. I do see veterans taking that one, but I'm biased, right? Go figure.
And
Outside of all
MacArthur
that,
was always our big rival. So
yeah. Outside of that, it's football. The we're moving into the fall season here in South Texas. The temperatures have dropped out of the triple digits. They're now down in the lower to mid 90s. Right? You can feel that briskness in the air, and it's football time. So
very
plenty
very
going
minimal
on.
swamp ass as you walk, throughout the day.
Very minimal. Um, but yeah, there's so much going on. Obviously, UFL is still in the mix, and I know why they're pushing to get some information out there to keep them relevant. Because the further we get into the NFL season, the less likely people are going to be paying attention to what's going on outside of the NFL, because
Yeah,
that's the playoffs are going to start to be shaping up in November, well, probably end of October, November, going into December. You're going to know who's going to be in the playoffs and who's fighting for those wild cards. And so everybody's going to be watching that. So UFL is going to want to get the information out as fast as possible.
yeah.
But that's a good thing, because it also means we're going to know what to look forward to for this next season. Is one of those coming down, right? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, you
In the
can't see it
meantime,
very well, but oh, where am I at right here? I still have question marks over those three. So we don't know yet.
yes. I would still put a question mark over Birmingham too, just in case,
They said
right?
Birmingham safe, so I took Rapoli at his word. So
I mean, I don't know the dude, so I don't know. But we'll just see. Anyways, lots going on, lots of information, right? We're gonna try and stay as active with posting and everything as we can, especially once I figure out sorry, co-host coming in here. Once I figure out how to get back into my Facebook account. I've got everything posted on MySpace, so we're good there at least. But in the meantime, right? We're definitely going to try and be a little bit more active, try and share a little bit more information as we find out about it. And especially, as the season progresses, we're going to start getting more information about like arena football, things like that. The UFL draft, the combines, things like that. So there's plenty of information that's going to be out there. And we'll do our best to make sure that we're bringing it to you guys. With that being the case, again, give a shout out to our sponsor, W Energy Drink, and I'm trying to work on finding another one just to kind of help out. But we'll see. I mean, I've got a few leads. Maybe we'll get something going there. But we also want to shout out to XFL Mike G and Alternative Football Network for helping us out the way they always do. Bobby Otten, Sammy Sharp, all the guys over at Pro Arena Talk. We love you guys. Thank you so much for all the information you share with us. But you guys are our source for indoor football news. And so as things break, you let us know. Um, and of course, you guys, the fans, right? Um, we couldn't do this without you. 115 episodes in the bag. You know, we do it because we love
160.
talking football. 160, I'm sorry. We do it because we love talking football, but we also love hanging out with you guys for an hour and a half or so and just chewing the fat and talking about what we love the most, right? So again, thank you guys. Appreciate everything that you always do for us and with us. And with that being the case, you got anything else before we sign off?
I mean, considering who we're playing this week, suck it, Giants.
There you go. See you guys. Go Pack
Later.
Go.